Good morning, team. Looking at the overall market, things don't look to be as bad as they're saying on the news. Reason being, if we look at the 180-day chart, we are still above the 180-day trade line. MACD still crossed over in the bullish position. So definitely want to watch out to see what's going to happen today, especially in this news-driven market. Looking at the SPY on the 20-day, you can see we're actually hitting the SMA over here, which can be a possible resistance area. If you remember last week, we actually got above the 20-day SMA and we're basically going up towards 438. So we want to see if we break that 434 today, and then we can start pushing up at least 433, 433.50. We can start going up towards 435. On the downside, watch for the break below 430. That's going to be below the 20-day trade line, and then we can start going down towards 425. So let's see what happens. 20-day is crossed down, floating above divergence. If it crashes through divergence, we could have a bearish day, right? Looking at the RSI is basically sitting in the middle over here. So we have the opportunity to do both. Also, Russia is basically in talks with Ukraine, basically trying to figure out what they're going to do moving forward. So maybe that could possibly put a halt on basically the extreme volatility. So definitely be cautious with that as well too. Next one we're going to talk about is Tesla. Looking at Tesla, let's jump over towards the 180-day. You can see that Tesla's basically trapped in some type of range over here in between that 826, in between that 781. If we look at it on the 180-day, you can see the MACD is crossed up to the bullish side. The candles are trying to hold above the trade line over here. But definitely, Tesla pretty much moves with the overall market. So the market starts to pull back, Tesla's probably going to pull back with it. As for news, Tesla doesn't have any crazy news besides last week. They do have news that they are scheduled to basically start the Gigafactory in Berlin. So you definitely want to look out for that type of news as well too. Maybe that could bring like a positive factor to the stock. So watch to see if we break above 826, then we can start going up towards the 850 zones. If not, and we continue to hold below the 20-day trade line over here, 20-day is crossed down. RSI has the opportunity to do either or. We could see some possible downside on the breakup 781, and then we could basically start going down towards 743 or 744. And to the upside, we could possibly break that 826 to go to like 850. Next one we're going to talk about is NVIDIA. Looking at NVIDIA on the 20-day, NVIDIA, there was a rumor that NVIDIA basically had a potential cyber hack last week. So definitely want to see what's going to happen this week with the overall stock. NVIDIA hasn't been having such a great time, especially with the overall market pulling back. You see, we reached a high within 20 days of 275 and it went to 206. Now it's basically looking like a potential double top. You can see this area that it's at. That 240 area has been a previous resistance. We're right below the SMA on the 20-day. So I think above the trade line at 238, we could start seeing some uptrend towards 240. If not, MACD is crossed down. So you should be more in favor for a bearish position since the MACD is crossed down. RSI has more room for the downside. Watch for the break of 235. And then we could start going down towards 229, especially since that 20-day MACD is crossed down. It could possibly pull the stock lower. Next one we're going to talk about is Facebook. Looking at Facebook over here, Facebook is basically moving kind of flat over here. But if you look at it on the smaller charts, like 5-minute, 10-minute, you guys can see some good plays on there as well. Jumping over towards the 20-day chart over here, you can see we're right below that SMA. A lot of stocks are below their 20-day SMA, which could mean that, hey, if we could get above these SMAs, then we could possibly have a bullish trend. Or if we keep on rejecting these SMAs, that could possibly mean, hey, we could possibly have a major pullback in the market once again. So definitely be cautious for that and be ready to take advantage of it. So on the break of 204, we could start dropping down towards 200. You can see 200 over here was some type of support before. If we break 200, we could start going down towards 189. If we start being bullish, watch for the break above at least 214, 213 over here, 213.50, and we could start basically pushing up towards 220 on Facebook. Looking at Shopify over here, Shopify is basically above the 20-day trade line. MACD looks like it wants to cross down. This 637 area has been some type of support. Make sure you set alert just in case it breaks that area. That would be a nice entry point, since we could see there was a lot of conjunction over here on the break of that that 635 area. We could start basically pulling back down towards like 590, maybe even going down toward that 574. There's a lot more room for downside, especially since the market was bullish on basically Thursday and Friday. This is kind of setting up everything to be kind of like a dead cat bounce, where we were basically at a previous high, dropped, bounced, couldn't fully recover, and then we could end up coming back down. Definitely check out your dead cat bounce patterns for more info on that one. Last but not least, I think we'll just throw in Wells Fargo over here. Just wanted to see how at least one bank stock is doing, especially since they're trying to freeze a lot of assets of Russia. Russia's ruble is basically going down. You can see Wells Fargo is very oversold over here. So definitely want to watch to see what happens. Looks kind of choppy. It's below the SMA over here. So above 53.80, we could possibly go to 54.66. To the downside, probably wouldn't really trust it too much, but anything's possible in this market. 52.44 down towards 51.20. So I think that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys all have a green trading day. Welcome back to the crazy week of the stock market. And we'll go from there later.